Hello, I'm back. And today we're having a lovely little look at your rigs that you sent into my Discord community after I asked for them. Now just a quick thing, you sent in way too many rigs for me to be able to cover them all in one video. So I'm gonna be doing this as a part 1, we're gonna be doing a part 2 and see if we can get a part 3, and we're gonna be going over 10 rigs each of them. So starting out in 10th place of this video, we have this rig. This is Lauries, who has a lovely little GT Omega rig with a D29 on it and a little stick shifter for, you know what, changing gears. What do you think I was talking about? Other than that, it's got a bit of underwear in the window frame, which I find quite hilarious. I don't know why you wouldn't take that out of there, but fair enough, you know, people have different priorities of where they put their stuff. He's got a pair of Fanatec V3s, and I know that he recently told me that he's ordered a CSL DD. So finally that Logitech will find somewhere else to live its final days. Overall a pretty decent rig, and I think we're gonna rate it on the scale of 5.5 out of 10, mainly being the underwear that brings it a little bit down, you know, but oh, well, whatever, it is what it is. Let's move on to the next one. In 9th place we've got Mikkel with his little rig. It looks decent, looks like he's got a GT Omega Thrustmaster TSPC, but one thing that really fucking annoys me on this rig is the right monitor that looks like, I don't know, it's taking drugs or something, because it's about 5 centimeters lower than the other monitors. And in the right hand corner he's got a pair of stinky socks, which what is up with you and leaving your stinky underwear in your picture frames of your rig? Anyways, I find it quite funny. I can bully these two people because I know them personally. Overall, I think we're gonna give this rig a 6 out of a 10. You know, it's mainly the monitor. It could be a bit higher because it's a pretty decent rig. It's got a triple screen setup, but that right-hand monitor brings it down a little bit. Moving on to 8th place of today's video, we have Timothy with this lovely little triple screen setup. And here there's bonus points for this little orange blob sitting and staring you down while you drive. On the actual rig itself, he's got a Thrustmaster, and I don't know exactly which one of them it is because I'm not very much into Thrustmaster things. For the pedals, he's got a set of Fanatec CSL Elite load cells, which are decent pedals as a starter, but you know, if you want to move on, you definitely want to upgrade those as the next thing, at least if you ask me. Overall, a pretty nice setup. The only thing I can really see here is also the fact that the monitors are a little bit far away. Personally, I would have them way closer to myself, but that might also just be personal preference. Who knows? Overall, we're gonna give this setup a 6.2 out of 10 on the scale. In 7th place we have Andy with this lovely little triple screen setup, a CSL DD and Fanatec V3 pedals. So he's gone all in on the Fanatec gear. He's got a really nice race seat though, in one of the Sparco race seats, which are always really comfortable. Other than that, he's got a PC the size of a mountain. That case is huge, but I guess it's fine if you have Giga graphics card or something. And then in the background I spot a little round rim. I think this is the Fanatec CSL Elite, the one that comes along with the base that you used to be able to buy. So I'm guessing that's rally and stuff. Overall, we're gonna give Andy's setup a 6.9 nice out of 10 on this scale. In 6th place of today's video, we have a rig that I absolutely love. He's got what looks like a Fanatec DD and a very nice button box. I can't see any wheel here, which is a bit sad because we would have liked to see what that wheel is. But other than that, the rest of the setup looks very nice with what looks like VRS pedals, a very comfortable race seat, and generally quite a nice rig. What I really love about this rig is that he even added a note on this. On top of the 4th monitor, he has a place for his cat to sit and watch him while he's driving. Like, that's so wholesome. Like, you just drive and you look up and you see your cat look down at you or something. Well, like, isn't it distracting? I can imagine though that there could be some problems. Like, what if you're going through a corner and suddenly your cat just falls into your face or something? Anyways, I like the add-on. On the overall scale, we're gonna give Björn's cat rig a solid 7.1 out of 10. Let's move on to the top 5. But before we do that, I just want to say, if you want to have your own rig in these videos, no matter how bad or how good they are, we're just looking at them, having a bit of fun about it, go into my Discord server, into the Rig Talk chat, post in there, and I'll make sure to get it in a future video. Moving into the top 5, we have Daniel, and this is where the rigs are starting to become really pricey, and we're only in the top 5 here, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a quadruple monitor setup just like the one before. He's got a nice rig, aluminum rig. He's got a SimLab race seat and a Cube Controls race wheel. And his rig is located somewhere that's very familiar to me. If you didn't know, I previously went to a sim racing boarding school where we got to do sim racing all day, and in fact I actually designed this banner that you can see on the right side of the picture. So in the bigger picture, this is probably one of the nicest places you can possibly have your rigs, so there'll constantly be 10 other people who are interested in the exact same thing as you are. On the overall scale, we're gonna give this rig an 8.5 out of 10. So we're not quite getting to 10, but we're getting there very soon. In 4th place, we have Elvis Rankin's rig from the Apex Racing Sim Center. He's got a very comfortable racing seat, which is good because I know this is in fact his home. He's got an Asher wheel on a VRS wheelbase and on a quadruple monitor setup, which at least from my experience is very handy handy to have because you can have the standings on the top and the game on the 3 screens. And knowing that Elvis Rankin is a typical race car driver, he of course doesn't have a normal way of drinking water. He of course has to have a straw in his water bottle so he can flick it up into his mouth and drink while driving. I swear these race car drivers are getting so fucking lazy nowadays. Overall, we're gonna give Elvis's rig an 8.9 out of 10 on the scale. Jumping into the top 3 rigs of today's video, we have Stefan, who has a very nice quadruple monitor setup with a racing wheel that I never think I've actually seen before. Nonetheless, that wheel has got quite a lot of buttons and a little display, and I'll research which wheel it is after the video and I'll pop it up here, but it looks very, very nice and very interesting. The only thing here I can spot as well is that he's got normal car seat in his rig, which I guess might be quite comfortable actually. You know, I've never personally tried that before, but you know, I guess if it works, it works. Overall, we're gonna give this rig a 9 out of 10 on the scale. Before we go into the top 2 rigs of today's video, I would appreciate if you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you'll have my newest video in your softbox. Now for the top 2. In second place of today's video, we have Langston Rig, which is a very, very neat looking rig, and it has really, really nice LED lights, which I don't know, if you look at my room, I am a big fan of. He's got a P1X with some add-ons, SimuCube 2 Pro, and a SimulJ F1S steering wheel. Now, I've actually held this wheel in real life, and there were a couple of things that I would have had differently on it, but that's also personal preference. I guess that's also a good time to quickly point out that these of course are my opinions. If you have other opinions, throw them down in the comments. I would love to hear them. Online, it's got Raceworks S1 pedals, which look very nice, and overall it's a very, very clean rig. There's not a lot of cables, there's not a lot of, you know, shit just floating everywhere, and I think we're gonna give this rig a 9.4 out of 10 on the scale. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the best rig of today's video. Are you ready? This is the peak of the video. This is where you need to get excited. Let's see the number 1 rig of today's video. Nah, that is too crazy, man. I am of course taking the piss here, but who the fuck decides to put a wheel on a coffin? I don't know. I guess we can include that as an honorable mention, but the actual number 1 rig of today's video is Yannis. Yannis has a very lovely looking rig. He's got a VRSDD and a Gomez semi-reduced wheel, which look very clean. I think what really makes this rig look exceptional from this view is that underglow on the rig. I used to have that as well, and it really adds something extra. It makes it feel more futuristic in a way. It makes it feel like the rig will just take off at any moment or something. Now, of course, this rig is not completely perfect, so we cannot value it at 10 out of 10. As an example, the cable management behind the rig looks a bit like mine. Yannis's rig is the winner of today's video, and we're gonna rank it on an overall scale of 9.5 out of 10. So still 0.5. I know there are better rigs out there. I know there exists a perfect rig out there, which we'll find out in more videos of this sort. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.